Hi, my name's Bailey. So, I've been gone again. I seem to not be able to have a normal posting schedule. It's just how it is. This time, there's not that much story to it, just, the world and also school. I am in my final year of high school and it's been very, very busy. So I haven't been able to read, post, or record anything to post, so that's kind of the whole story. But as of today, school is now back online because my province is currently leading in COVID cases, meaning, we gotta shut down again because we screwed up. So yeah, basically, we're shut down again. School is shut down. It's online starting tomorrow. I'm not too pleased about it, but I should have more time to read instead of getting schoolwork done. That's a joke, by the way. If you're my math teacher who emailed my mom because I wasn't doing homework, that's a joke. It's a joke. I'm gonna do homework, okay? We're responsible. Anyway, yeah, this is a reading vlog. I'm gonna try and post more now that I'm online school. I should have time to, film and read. The whole problem is I haven't had time to read because in November I haven't finished a single book. I haven't finished the book I started in October, and it's really painful because I just haven't had any time to read. It's been exhausting. School is a little bit too much right now. Tone it down, education system, okay? I kind of want to have a life outside of school, but those are just frivolous desires, I know. But let's talk about reading and what I plan to finish, hopefully in this vlog, like this week, and I guess by the end of November, because November is like ending already and I've gotten really nothing done in terms of reading. I'm currently reading Shadow Kiss. This is the third book in the Vampire Academy series. This is by Richelle Mead. I'm currently basically halfway through this book, and I'm actually really, really loving this series so far. And to describe it, it's about these vampires and half vampires, and they have the whole vampire society that coexists with normal society in secret, and the kids go to these vampire academies, like vampire schools, to learn about their roles in society. And it's basically cliche 2010 era, like that kind of time frame, even though I think it came out in 2007, this book, so they're old, but very cliche, kind of teen, YA tropes, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Honestly, it's trash, but it's good trash, So hopefully I can finish this week, and then I have to finish this, because I'm reading this on audiobook, and I have an hour or an hour and a half left of it. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. This is After the Fire by Will Hill. This is a book about this girl who survived a cult, and it's the aftermath, and it flows between the current POV of after the fire, roll credits, and then also before, in the cult. And I was really enjoying this because I'm really into true crime stuff and cults are really fascinating. So I really, really enjoyed this, but I just haven't gone around to finishing it, which sucks. I'm listening to this. I forgot if I said I'm listening to it, but I'm listening to it. So these two I really hope to finish this week because I really need to move on. I intended to do the Clear Your Shit readathon, and I made a whole TBR for it. It was going to be really chill, but then I didn't read anything in November, so I'm really setting myself up to fail because neither of these are on my TBR technically because I started them in October, and I have to read this book, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, because a friend lent it out to me, so I need to read this book next, but it's not on my TBR either, so I really need to get it going on this reading here so that I can actually, start my reading for the Clear Your Shit readathon for the end of the year, because guess what? December's coming up, aka the end of 2020, thank God, but I haven't really gotten all of my end of year reading done, so I'm stressed. So yeah, here's the goals. Finish these two this week, start this one and maybe finish it by early next week or next week, hopefully. That's kind of the plan. I have to clean my room because I wasn't really prepared for online school to start tomorrow. We got the announcement earlier today that it was going to start on the 30th, but then my school sent out an email saying that's going to start tomorrow. So I need to clean because my room is a mess and I don't need my classmates seeing that at all. So I need to do that. I want to take a bath, and if I'm in the bath, I'll probably read or watch YouTube. I haven't really watched much BookTube either, so maybe I'll catch up on that. I don't know. I'm stressed. I'm so stressed. University applications suck ass. My brain is everywhere, but everyone says that grade 11, or I guess junior year for y'all Americans, is the worst year of high school. bullshit. Grade 12 is a raging dumpster fire. Like, I've wanted to die almost every day of grade 12 so far. Like, I don't think I've ever been more suicidal and more depressed and more, like, manic, you know what I mean? So, like, I blame grade 12. It's kind of the worst. And, like, anybody who told me it wasn't going to be the worst before I started grade 12 is a liar, and I don't trust you anymore. If you happen to be in high school and you're not in grade 12 yet, buckle up, honey. The thing about grade 12 is, like, every time you get a grade and it's bad or something, like, it just feels like your whole future is slipping away because you're like, oh, dropped percent, universities don't want me anymore. And that, my friends, is the fucked up society we have created. So, yeah, let's just applaud society quickly and the education system and move along. So, yeah, welcome to this vlog. I am kind of a mess. Like, if you can't tell, mentally, physically, emotionally, I'm a mess. But I'm back. My name's Bailey. Did I never say my name? Editing Bailey, can you insert this clip right here into the beginning? Hi, my name's Bailey. But yeah, I'm gonna go do things and I'll come back at you with an update soon. Hopefully. Or I'll scrap this vlog and forget about it. Who knows? We really don't know anymore.
A chance to dream. But dreams may come when we have shuffled off this.
This is actually my favorite soliloquy. The to be or not to be soliloquy. The existential crisis of it. I love it. I actually really like Hamlet. I'm in class, but I really like Hamlet. And this is the to be or not to be speech, and I definitely recommend reading that speech or listening to it if you haven't read Hamlet, because it's really good. I'm in like a perpetual existential crisis, and Hamlet's like suicidal existential crisis that is the to be or not to be soliloquy is 10 out of 10. Yeah, I don't really like Shakespeare, but I do like Hamlet. So I'm like, I think just over halfway through it, and I'm in LA right now, but good shit. Good shit right here. Hello? So, I don't stand a lot in videos and or vlog clips, and it's kind of partly because I am already too overactive with my hands when I speak, so when I have the opportunity to move, I do it. But I'm standing to emphasize the fact that my room is clean, so the floor is clean, so I actually can walk around, so I'm proud of myself for that. That's real exciting. But also, I'm here to talk to you because I have reading updates aplenty. We'll start with this book because I was reading in the bath and I read about 25 or maybe 30 pages. So I'm, I think, 48% through, so close to halfway. But yeah, I just thought I'd say that I read some of it. I'm making progress, slow, but still progress. So, this guy's still here. I never gave you like a really in-depth description of this book. It is the third book in a series, so it's kind of hard, but to get more in-depth into like the series plot, it follows this girl named Rose, and her name's Rose Hathaway, and she's a Dampier, and that's basically a half human, half vampire person. And in this society that is coexisting with normal society, there are Moroi, which are like actual vampires, Dampier, who are the half vampires and then people, and then Strigoi, which are like vampires who are evil, you know? And Dampiers are basically born and raised to be guardians for the vampires to protect them from the Strigoi, the evil Moroi, basically. And so Rose is a Dampier, and she has this best friend. Her name is Lisa, and she is a Moroi. And basically, they've grown up together knowing that they're going to be, you know, the Moroi and Guardian duo. Like, Rose is going to be her guardian. It's going to be great. There's some other, like, stuff going on, like, with the magic system and such I don't want to get into. But the Vampire Academy comes in because they all go to this vampire school, because there's many of them. But, like, the specific one they're going to St. Vlad's Vampire Academy, and there's all kind of stuff going on. It really branches from the first book, which is, like, pretty solely based in the school. And then the second one is, like, the winter break. Currently, these are all taking place during one school year, like, their senior year, I guess. Not really, but kind of. So I'm interested to see like if the whole series just takes place in this one school year or if it like branches out at all. But yeah, the first book was like the first couple months, and then the second book was winter break. This one's I think the new year. I don't know. It's been a while since I read the beginning, so I can't remember if they said it was the new year, but I assume it was if the last book was winter break. So yeah, all the books take place over a couple of months, so I'm really enjoying the series. I'm currently like binging it, quote unquote. I don't really read series like in a row. I usually read like one book and then like 3 months later pick up the next one. So like the fact that I'm reading the third one in a row from when I started the first one is impressive to me, but I'm gonna have to put the series on hold for at least like a week or two to catch up on things after I finish this. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying this. It's a little bit dry right now. I'm kind of waiting for some action or drama to kind of build up. I can see the hints of drama, but I'm just wondering if it's going to be a miscommunication thing, because like a bunch of information just kind of like got thrown onto a character, and I want her to tell it to the whole group so that we're not like hiding it and it doesn't become a fight later. But you never know with these kind of books that are like kind of tropey. So I'm hoping like it doesn't rely too heavily on miscommunication, because I'm not into that. But yeah, I'm currently excited to see where this is going, but I kind of want some action to pick up soon, because I'm really into Rose's life, but currently we're focusing a lot on Lisa's life through Rose's eyes. And that's all fine and dandy, but I kind of don't like it. Like, I get it, Lisa's a goody two-shoes and she's got so much potential, but I care about Rose's life because she's got the real drama. Like, I want to see what's going on in her love life and her general, you know, shit that's going on. But it's focusing a lot on Lisa, which is unfortunate, but I'm sure it'll move on at some point. Next up, we have After the Fire by Will Hill. I just finished this like 10 minutes ago. And y'all, I love it. I think I gave it like 4.75 stars, but I rounded to a 5 because it was just amazing. So I'll give you a synopsis, like a better one now. This book follows a girl named Moonbeam, and she grew up since like a very, very young age, like baby aged, in this cult. And this book takes place in a dual timeline. So one timeline is after the fire, and that fire is kind of when the government raided the cult, and now she's in the psychological facility. So it's like, you know, her rehashing the cult stuff with the psychiatrist and an agent. And then the other perspective is like what she's rehashing, like it's the before perspective of what was going on in the cult. And it deals a lot with obviously cults, but like the psychological effect of trauma and like manipulation, and I loved it. The characters I liked, like Moonbeam, our main character, I love her so much. She's very strong-willed, and like I just really enjoyed her character. I also really recommend the audiobook because I really like the narrator, the girl who narrates it. I loved her voice. It was very soothing. It really fit the character for me. I really enjoyed it. The treatment of like the psychological effects and like the process of like grieving in a way, and also like getting over this super traumatic event that took up most of your childhood, because like Moonbeam is 17 and she turns 18 at the end of the book. So like her whole childhood, like her whole life up to this point has been in this cult. So like you have to break down what you've like been told and kind of rebuild your knowledge of society, and also break down like the things that were done to you that were wrong, you know what I mean? And I love how this book treated it, because like, not to get into too many details, at the end she's not like forgotten it and she's all good and clean and ready to go. Like, she acknowledges in her inner thoughts that like, no, she won't forget these things. She doesn't need to write them down. Like, they're burned into her mind forever, and like, you know, that's a part of her now, and she's trying to rebuild from that and like to move forward, but not forget and like pretend that she can get rid of what happened to her before. I really like that because it was like realistic in a way, because, you know, trauma and those kind of things don't just go away. You have to learn to live with them, not like forget them, you know what I mean? Like, that's not how that kind of stuff works. But also the end was like, okay, the last 100 or like 70-ish pages like got me. I was very near tears on several occasions, and like the mother-daughter relationship that was in this book, it got me. Like, it was so heartbreaking to read a lot of this book. And like, I would say I'm really into true crime, so I've read some kind of like fucked up stuff, and like I wouldn't say this is the most like gritty cult thing. I would say this one wasn't like the most gruesome, gory, or like gritty cult experience I've ever like read of existing, but there were times where it was really, like, fucked up what was going on in the cult. And, like, a lot of times it wasn't too gory, but then sometimes it kind of was, like, not gore, but it was like, ooh, that's intense. I would say trigger warning in this book for suicide. There's, like, suicide toward the end, where it's, like, mentioned from, like, another event, which is not, like, obviously it's still suicide, but it's less what I'm talking about. There is a character in this book who kills himself by biting their wrists, and it caught me off guard. That's not something I've ever heard of before, and it really was, like, it made me very uncomfortable in the sense of, like, just imagining that, like, screwed with my brain. So yeah, if you don't want to read that in depth, you know what I mean? Maybe look out for that part. Like, it's somewhere in the middle and it's not really mentioned afterwards, but there are a few pages where it's, like, mentioned that happened. So, like, look out for yourself in that way. And then there's, like, sexual assault triggers. It's not, like, on the page, but it is mentioned. You know, just know what you're getting into when it comes to occults. Usually those things aren't very great. So yeah, I just thought this book was really interesting, and I'm really glad I read it. And I think that if you're into true crime and cult stuff, this would be a fun YA book to read, because I think it handles the topic pretty well. So yeah, that's this book. And I'm glad I finished it too, because, like, I just kind of had the end left and just, like, hadn't finished it for some reason. So I'm glad to finally get this off my currently reading, and hopefully I guess move on to another audiobook, even though I kind of don't want to right now, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, one piece of the plan down, one more to go. Look at me, achieving goals on a timely basis. So yeah, that's the update. I didn't do any homework today, and didn't retain anything from class today, so, like, that's real good, but I did finish a book, so you can't judge me. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for right now. I don't know if I'll read any more tonight. I am in the middle of watching a reading vlog, so I want to finish that. But yeah. I definitely could have started filming when the tripod was, you know, put together, but that'd be too high quality for this channel. Hello? Oh, this is not a look. This is 300% not a look. Ponytail it is. Hi, so I was editing footage for this vlog and realized I looked crusty in all of them. So I guess this clip is here to show you that I don't look crusty as all high hell at all times, just most times. But I do have something to show you. I don't have any reading updates. Don't expect a reading update here, but I have something to show you. I got a package. Yee. I know what it is. It's a pre-order, and we're gonna open it. For the record, I didn't want this book at all, but I kind of had to. It's How the King of Elfame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. This is like the, what is it, short stories or some shit, illustrated short story collection or novella of some sort for the Cruel Prince trilogy. It's right there. I hate that trilogy, mostly because I really like the first book, and then the second book, The Wicked King, is like one of, if not my most liked, that's not where the sentence is supposed to go, it's one of, if not my favorite book of all time. And then The Queen of Nothing is my least favorite book of all time. I think The Queen of Nothing is literal trash personified into book form. It's just horrid in my opinion. I gave it 1 star, but really in my heart it's like a negative infinity stars because it's just horrid in my opinion. So yeah, I just didn't want any more from this series, but I kind of had to do this because, you know, even though I hate that trilogy now because it's a raging dumpster fire in my opinion, well, at least the ending is, and it ruined everything that was developed in The Wicked King that I loved. Anyway, I'm gonna start ranting and get really sad because that trilogy made me so sad because it's just like the ruined potential, you know. But anyway, didn't really want this in general, didn't really want to read it, but in essence, like, because of my love of The Wicked King, I kind of have to. It's so pretty though. I'm really like, it's very pretty. And the illustrations are very pretty as well. So I'm excited to read it now, but I do hate reading things from the perspective of other characters in series after reading a series of books from one singular person's perspective, if that makes sense. Like ACOTAR, the series, it's only Favor's perspective, and then ACOFAS is multiple perspective, and that's one of the things, there's many things, but it's one of the things I hate about ACOFAS, because reading from a lot of the other characters' perspectives ruined them for me, because I was like, oh, I didn't want to know what was going on in their heads. It just ruined their character. So I hope that's not what happens here. I'm also not sure how this is really told. Like, I know it's about Cardan. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't ruin Cardan for me as, well, he's already ruined. Queen of Nothing ruined Cardan for me. But hopefully it can't further dig the grave of Cardan, the character that I liked. Wicked King Cardan is top tier. But yeah, this book is so pretty. It doesn't like, it's so beautiful. I hope I like it. I hope it's like, I hope it follows events that happened like from the Wicked King and like the Cruel Prince. I hope there's no like Queen of Nothing content in there or like after the fact stuff, because I really can't read about anything that happens in the Queen of Nothing or after that, because it'll just remind me how heartbroken I am by the end of the series. But I would love to read anything else from the series from Cardan's perspective. I'm just not sure what this is. Oh my god, I just read the description and it apparently has content from after the Queen of Nothing, which is the one thing I don't want. But it also has stuff from before the Cruel Prince and some pivotal moments from the Folk of the Year trilogy. Okay, so apparently we're gonna have some scenes from before Cruel Prince, during the trilogy, and after. So hopefully it's majority before and during and a lot less after, because I don't know if I'll mentally be able to do that and not want to cry the whole time out of sadness. Oh, okay, wait, this book is so pretty though. This doesn't seem like it'll take too long to read, seeing as it is illustrated. Oh, wait, what? Okay, it's 173 pages, yeah, so it shouldn't take too long to read, but I'm gonna save it for a bit. I might read it like next weekend or like next week, but I'm sorry, I can't stop looking at it. It's so beautiful. Fuck, I kind of want to read it. Shit. Oh, there's no space on that shelf. I'm gonna have to make space for it. Anyway, that was my package. I have no reading updates. I haven't really read, but it is the weekend now, so I should have more time to do so. So I'll catch you later. That book is beautiful. Just look at it. I just want to read it, but I shouldn't, because I know it'll make me really sad, because then I'll think about Queen of Nothing, and I'll think about how disappointing it was. But it's beautiful, and I'm just waiting for some scenes from the Wicked King from Cardan's perspective, because I don't know if I'm gonna mentally survive reading Wicked King scenes from Cardan's perspective. Like, that's top tier right there. I'm so excited, but I'm also scared. I'm nerve-sighted. I'll talk to you later. Okay, my mouth looks insane right now. I just ate a ring pop that was blue, so now it's stained my lips and like my tongue, but it just looks crazy, so try not to focus on that. It's been a few days since I last updated you, and that's just because school makes it a little hard for me to be consistent with my reading, so it makes the vlog updates inconsistent, but I do have stuff to say to you now, and that is that I'm now officially 52% through this, so not much progress, but I'm technically halfway through now, so that's just peachy. So how I'm feeling about this is like, I'm fine with it. I don't hate it at all. But like, I would love for the miscommunication to end and some action to begin, because I'm getting a little bit bored of like the just kind of chill drama going on. Like, I feel like it's building up a lot of things. We've learned a lot of information that we happen to be withholding from a lot of people, but like, we're learning a lot of information that I know is gonna like climax somewhere else, but I'm waiting for just a little bit of action to get me through, because this is like a 400-page book, and I'm like, okay, we've been kind of dawdling this whole time. I would love for like the action to build up, but since it hasn't, I feel like it's building to have like a really climactic end of the book, so I'm excited for that. I just want it to like start soon. So I hope to make a little bit of progress on this, but slow and steady, we're getting through it. But then also, I started Shah and the Tree of Wishes by Roshani Chokshi today. This is the third book in the Shah series. It's one of my favorite series. I've read the first two books. This is the third one. The fourth one comes out next year. And I'm just in love with this series. I started the audiobook for this because I've been audiobooking the series because I love the narrator. Also, look at this like book's cover. Like, is that not beautiful? So I just finished this vlog and I'm now editing it, and this is where I was trying to explain Shah to you, and it was going horribly because I have such a hard time describing this series. I just can't give a synopsis for it, but I'm gonna try again because the way I tried to do it in this clip was so bad that I have to like try again. So basically, the first book. So it's a middle grade series, and you know how Percy Jackson is like Greek mythology and it's all like intertwined with that? This is basically the same idea, but with Hindu mythology. So basically, our main character, Shah, is a bit of a fibber. She tells a few little white lies to try and like impress other people or get people to like her. And one day, these popular people from her school come to her doorstep, which happens to be a museum. She lives in a museum. And they come there and they call her on one of her lies. This lie happens to be one that she told about this lamp that's in the museum. And so to save her reputation, she, messes with this lamp and accidentally releases this demon called the Sleeper who wants to destroy the world. So this obviously sucks, and she ends up being pulled into the other world, which is basically like the magical part of the world, and discovering the fact that she happens to be one of 5 reincarnations of the Pandava brothers, who are these ancient warriors that have been reincarnated many times. Basically, this time around, they've all been reincarnated as girls, so basically the series is going to be following the Pandava sisters. And the first book really just follows Aru and this girl named Minnie, who is another one of the Pandava sisters, and they are completing a little quest to stop the Sleeper from destroying the world. So that's the first book in a nutshell, basically. Again, that description wasn't even that good, but it was better than what I tried to do before, so... This is the third book, and I am loving it. I'm already, I think, 107 pages in, and my love of this series just awakens in me every time I look at them or read them. I just love this series so much. I love everything about it. I love the mythology, I love the characters, and the writing, the atmosphere. It's just beautiful. I honestly love this series so much. It's so hard for me to put this book down when I'm reading it, because I'm just like, I want to keep reading it. It's so magical and cute, and it's just everything for me. So yeah, I'm about 100 pages through. I think I'm like 27% through, and it's already fantastic. I have no complaints. So yeah, this is currently what's going on. I'm gonna go take a bath and read some of this, even though I really want to read more of this because I'm obsessed. Also, I'm reading this for another reason. I think I mentioned the Clear Your Shit readathon earlier, but I have all my TBR on this piece of paper, and Shah and the Tree of Wishes happens to be on it. But yeah, I am trying to complete as much of this TBR as I can in December because November was a flop, and I'm not going to go through all of these, but I am reading Shah, the third one, for the quest that is to read a fantasy. This is a middle grade fantasy, I think, by definition. I hope so. I'm counting it as a fantasy. To me, it's fantastical, so it's good enough for me. To me, it's fantastical. I guess it could be defined as kind of urban fantasy, because it's the real world I don't know. Fantastical fantasy, I'm reading it. I haven't completed any of these yet because November sucked, so we're struggling. I'm probably not gonna complete all of these, but I want to complete at least 5 or 6, maybe. That seems reasonable to me. I don't know. I want to be able to cross a few of these off. So, yeah, I'll keep bringing this up whenever I read one that's on this TBR, but I don't really feel the need to, go through the whole thing right now. But yeah, just know that I am still trying, and December is gonna be my month. Oh my god, it's already December. Shit. I just realized it's December 1st, so, this month is gonna be my month. Maybe. I'm gonna go take that bath now. And maybe I should just listen to this because I really want to read it, so there's really no point in forcing myself to read something else. But at the same time, I'm kind of getting sick of having read this for over a month now. So, I don't know. So I finished Shah and the Tree of Wishes by Roshani Chokshi, and I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, probably a 4.5 in actuality, which is technically lower than my rating of the first 2 books that are right there. I gave both of those 5 stars, with the second one being my favorite, but this by no means is a bad sequel or a bad book. To give you a better description of the series than what I did yesterday and kind of build off that, So in the overall series, obviously, we have the Pandavas, and they're reincarnated as the sisters, and we're collecting the sisters over a few books to, you know, stop the Sleeper as a team. The Sleeper is obviously the big demon dude that Aru accidentally released, and now they have to stop him from destroying the world. And there's like an incoming war, basically. So throughout all the books, there's always like, there's a task that has like a time limit on it. So for example, in this book, we have a task that we have to complete, and we have 5 days to do it. The time that they have to do it, you know, varies throughout the books, but this one was a 5-day task. And I really enjoy the format of these books in that way, but I didn't like this one as much. Because we get really quickly into the timed task. Like, we just kind of, I think about like 30 or 40 pages in, we're like already going to do our task. It just like started off feeling a little bit disjointed, and then throughout the book they were going to a bunch of places to do little things on their journey or whatever, and it just felt a little bit disjointed to me. I can't really describe it any further, and I didn't hate it because I do love the world so much. Like, the Hindu mythology and like the way Roshani Chokshi presents it and the way she describes the world is so beautiful and atmospheric, so I'm not complaining. I love reading the little pieces of the world she shows us, but it did feel a little bit like bouncing off the walls in this book, as opposed to the other ones where I felt like there was a little bit more of a linear path of where they were going. So I didn't hate that, I just noticed that. And I found at the end of this book, the action wasn't, like, the climactic action was kind of short and kind of cut off really abruptly at the end. Like, I felt like there was a lot of build-up in this book, but then there wasn't a lot of payoff in the climax. Which, again, a little bit disappointing, but I'm not complaining that much. Like, I still loved this series, and I still loved this book. I just think compared to the other books, I didn't love it as much. I still love the characters, though. I love all the new characters we had added into this book, and we, like, developed more in this book. This, I do believe, is going to be a quintet. I'm pretty sure there's 5 books, so the next book comes out in April of next year, and I'm really excited for that because the cover is gorgeous. I can't wait to see what happens in the rest of the series because this book ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm excited to see what's going on with that. Editing Bailey again, and I forgot to mention something about this book, and it's something I love in books, but it's questioning the morals of both the good and the bad side. A good example of this is Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer, the second book in the Renegades trilogy. It's like this questioning of the morals of both sides, where a character, usually it's a character, but it might be multiple, are like, okay, but neither side is fully good or fully bad. Is there such a thing as good and bad? Which side should I be fighting for? Because there's bad qualities to both sides. Like, I love the moral dilemma. I love that so much. And this book was doing that. And, like, it was just so much fun to read, especially in a middle grade. Like, trying to tackle those kind of more in-depth, like, kind of topics in a middle grade I thought was kind of cool, because usually you see in more children's fiction, like, there's good and bad, you know what I mean? So I enjoyed that we were kind of questioning both sides and their morals and how some people are kind of set up to fail in life, and it was just real cool to read, so I thought I'd add that in. If you want, like, the Percy Jackson vibe of, like, kids who are involved in, like, mythology and greater powers going on quests, this is definitely that, and I think that the writing is beautiful, and the atmosphere, it's beautiful. The magic is so just whimsical. I think it's super great. Overall, really enjoyed this. I cannot wait for the rest of the series. Great book, not as good as the other ones in my opinion, but still a solid read. And I finally got to cross something off of my Clear Your Shit Readathon TBR. As I said before, I read this for the quest to read a fantasy book, so success. We're on our way to trying to do okay-ish on this TBR, but I only have the rest of December, so we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna have to end this vlog here because it is Wednesday, and I started this vlog last Tuesday, so this has reached its time limit. We gotta go. So yeah, this has been this vlog. I suppose I'll catch you next week, and hopefully I'll have finished Shadow Kiss and moved on to A Deadly Education because I need to read that. I also put that onto this TBR because I had free space, so I did manage to get that onto my Clear Your Shit Readathon TBR, so go me. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next vlog. Have a good day. I've been Bailey. Bye-bye.